Today I'm going to talk about Pioneer anomaly. After passing Uranus, Pioneer 10 suddenly started to slow down. And then for 30 years, no one was able to explain why Pioneer 10 was slowing down. NASA was in panic.
Mysteries of the universe.
So Pioneer 10 was a really breakthrough mission. It was launched in 1972 and it was the first mission to fly over Mars, first spacecraft to fly over the asteroid belt, and the first spacecraft to reach the Jupiter. So this is the picture of the Jupiter that Pioneer 10 sent us. This is a real picture of Jupiter taken near Jupiter, not using a telescope on the Earth. Amazingly sharp. And then also in 1983, Pioneer 10 flew over the orbit of Neptune, and then it became the first spacecraft to leave the solar system. Maybe you know that in case if alien finds this spacecraft, it carried a plague describing humans and solar systems. It's a message to aliens. So it's famous. And then January 23rd, 2003, Pioneer 10 sent the last signal to Earth, and after that we don't receive any more signal from Pioneer 10, but it keeps flying towards the Aldebaran, another star. So this is the current position of the Pioneer 10. It's almost twice as far as solar system's orbit, so maybe 80 AU, 100 AU, that's where Pioneer 10 is now. It keeps flying. Pioneer 10 was a great mission. Here's Pioneer anomaly. In 1979, JPL's Dr. John Anderson noticed after passing the Uranus's orbit, Pioneer 10 was slowing down unexpectedly. This is only tiny bit, about 1 kilometer per hour over 10 years. So this is a very, very tiny bit of deceleration, but it was reducing the speed. And then the same thing happened to Pioneer 11 as well. John Anderson learned about this from Doppler effect. If the spacecraft is slowing down, then you should hear the signal frequency is going to go up. So in this way, using the Doppler effect, they knew very accurately the acceleration and deceleration of the Pioneer 10. And this is NASA scientists working on it, so they knew everything there. The gravity of the sun, gravity from the other planets, all of these are taken into account, and then they calculate the speed of the Pioneer 10. But they couldn't explain why Pioneer 10 is reducing the speed. There's no reason, no way, for the Pioneer 10 to reduce the speed. And therefore, this Pioneer anomaly was a mystery for 30 years. And during these 30 years, scientists came up with exotic theories such as maybe gravity is different outside of solar system, general relativity may be wrong, or our understanding of fundamental law of physics is flawed, or maybe dust has additional drag somehow, or there may be unknown planet somewhere and its gravity is affecting Pioneer 10. But none of those theories could explain the deceleration of Pioneer 10. This is Pioneer anomaly. And then in 2004, Dr. Turchev and his team tried to solve the mystery by creating an accurate model of the spacecraft. And to do this, they tried to correct all available data about Pioneer 10. But this is 30 years ago, 1970s. NASA didn't keep all the data of Pioneer 10. They already discarded the data. That's a problem. But luckily, one scientist at NASA had, just in case, a copy of data for his own. And then Dr. Turchev found this data. Data was stored in many magnetic tapes, not on a hard drive like nowadays. This is 30 years ago. So they dig out this tape and copy data to computer, and then they created an accurate model of Pioneer 10. And then they found this. So the reason was a thermal recoil force. What does it mean? So this is an accurate thermal model of Pioneer 10. It has a dish on its tail, and this dish is always facing toward the Earth to communicate with the Earth. And this dish part is cold. And on its head part, it has a nuclear energy source. And this nuclear energy source is warmer. Of course, it's energy source. And this energy source is emitting the heat towards front of the spacecraft. You see the pink part on the head of the spacecraft, right? And also, this nuclear energy source also emits the heat to the back of the spacecraft, but there's a big dish at the back of the spacecraft. So this dish is going to reflect the heat, emitted heat towards front. So, in summary, Pioneer 10 was emitting more heat towards its front. And then this radiation difference was slowing the spacecraft down. This force is very tiny force, 10 billion times smaller than the gravity of the Earth, but it was big enough to slow down the spacecraft. So 30-year mystery was solved by his team. I think this is a great story. I like this. And according to Dr. Churchav, this is like a tiny force. When you're driving a car, your headlight pushes the car a little bit to the back. This is how tiny this force is. But it was detected by Dr. Anderson. It remained as a mystery for 30 years. Right now, after 2003, Pioneer 10 no longer sends a signal, but it keeps flying. It keeps flying towards Aldebaran. About 2 million years from now, it's gonna reach Aldebaran. And if there are aliens in Aldebaran, then they might see the plate or message that Pioneer 10 is carrying. So its journey continues. Okay, I stop here today. If you like the video, please like and then subscribe to my channel. If you have questions or comments, that's welcome down below. Okay, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.